Thank you, Warden. And Twin Day, that means let's go. Well, jumbo, everyone. My name is Megan, and I will be your safari guide for the next 2 weeks. Now, thanks. Now, along the way, I hope to see a lot of animals, and I'll try to point them out as I see them. But if I miss anyone, I do apologize. Yet that's why there is a handy-dandy spotting guide above your head for your convenience. And for your safety, please remain seated at all times. So, let's go. We will begin our journey in the Little Aturi Forest. Here the animals will use camouflage to blend in with their environment. So we're going to have to use those eyes as well as those ears to see who we can find. And coming up on the right-hand side against the bush area, you're going to see the okapi. Now, most people think the okapi is related to the zebra due to its sharp hindquarters, but in fact, it's the only known relative to the giraffe. Both the okapi and the giraffe share similar skull structures, including ossicones, which are those horn-looking things on top of their heads, as well as nice long tongues. The male okapi will be smaller than the female. Coming up on the left-hand side, you're going to see some coppery-looking antelopes. They are called bongos. Bongos are known as the ghosts of the forest for their ability to blend in with their environment. And both the male and female bongos will have horns that are faced backwards, which will help them navigate through brush more easily. Also on the left-hand side, further back, you're going to see the black rhino. Now the cool thing about black rhinos are that they have V-shaped lips, and they're used just like fingers to pick up objects. The horns are made of keratin, which is the same substance our fingernails and hair are made out of. There's a better view of the bongos. There's also more in the bushes on my left-hand side. But this light brown one over on my right-hand side is called a great okudu. The great okudu are the second largest antelopes here on the reserve. They measure around 5 feet from the shoulder. And she's a female, because unlike the bongos, only the male great okudu has horns that can go all the way up to be 6 feet long. We are now entering the Safi River area, and watering holes like these are great places to spot animals. They will use it as a social gathering ground. So, little ducklings. So we're going to look both on the land and in the water to see who we can find. The ducklings weren't part of this spotting guide, but I still think they're cute. There's a pod over on my left-hand side. A pod is a group of pelicans, and they are pink-backed pelicans. They're only pink during mating season, though. The rest of the time, they are a grayish-looking color. Both the male and female pink-backed pelican will take turns resting on their chicks to help keep them warm. And over on my left-hand side, you're going to see a bloat. A bloat is a group of hippos. Hippos will spend the majority of their day in the water, coming out at nighttime to forage for food. We're just going to remain poorly seated, my friends, because if you fall out, the hippos won't like it. They're very territorial creatures. We are now crossing Croc Bridge, and it gets its name because if you look over on the left-hand side, you see the Nile crocodile. The Nile crocodile is the second largest crocodile in the world, and the main source of protein for them will be fish, though they have been known to eat larger animals at least once a year. Coming up on the right hand side, you're going to see a unique looking tree. It's called the baobab. It's also known as the upside down tree because it looks like it's been planted, well, upside down. Those branches remain leafless for about 9 months of the year to help conserve on water. We are now entering the savannah where hoofstock animals reside. Some hoofstock animals I can already see are some antelopes. I see some cows. Ooh, even a nice, beautiful giraffe. Let's pull around and get a better view. Now, the giraffes that was going to be seen, they're going to be the tallest animals. They can reach heights around 20 feet tall. But they have a slight advantage because whenever they are born, they're born about 6 feet tall. Giraffes can spend around 16 hours or so a day eating. Because of that, their tongues will be blue, which will help protect it from getting sunburned. Another animal who we've encountered with a blue tongue is their cousin, the okapi. A giraffe's tongue is around 18 to 20 inches long, and it's thick enough to withstand thorns, and strong enough to rip those thorns right off of branches with no problem. These beautiful large antelopes over on the right-hand side are called Patterson elands. That's Dad, and that's actually his daughter right there. Patterson elands, especially Dad, he's going to be the tallest Patterson eland here, measuring around 6 feet from the shoulder. There's Mom in the back.
Look, Logan, you see him? Baby?
Did you? Yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah. Keep looking. I don't know what I want to do. Too quick.
Now, hidden between the cave and on the left-hand side, you're going to see someone. They are not hyenas that you spotted. Nope. They're African wild dogs, also known as the painted dog, because they look like they've been painted upon. Over on my left-hand side, you're going to see the sable antelope. The sable antelope will get darker with their age. The darkest will be the most male-dominant, but all decisions in the herd are made by a female. And these tower-like structures that you see throughout the reserve are called termite mounds. They are as hard as concrete, and elephants love to use them as scratching posts to where they're going to get worn down to little stubs. Where antelopes will then jump right on top of them and use them as lookout points against predators. Speaking about antelopes, these gray antelopes that are approaching on the left-hand side are called white-bearded wildebeest. They're also known as gnus, G-N-U-S, because of the sound they make. They sound like they are newing. An average herd of white-bearded wildebeest can reach up to 1,000, but whenever they migrate, they meet up with other herds, increasing their numbers to around 1.5 million.
Eating the grass. Eating the grass. There's another giraffe up there, buddy. Look up in there.
Now, since giraffes spend so long eating, well, they don't spend a lot of time sleeping. In fact, they only spend around 30 minutes or so a day asleep, and they can sleep while standing up with their eyes open. And that's how they're able to evade predators. These are Maasai giraffes you're seeing throughout the reserve. You can tell what type of giraffe you're looking at based on those spots. A Maasai giraffe will have more of a jagged spot pattern versus the smooth spot pattern or the nut-like pattern of the reticulated. Coming up on the right-hand side, you're going to see the cows with the beautiful long horns. They are called Ankole cattle. And while those horns look awfully heavy on their head, they're actually going to be quite light. And that's due to the honeycomb structure inside of them. Ankole cattle are the only domesticated animals here on the reserve, and they reside from Maasai. They're thought as a form of currency. So the more Ankole cattle you have, the richer you appear to be. There's another giraffe hidden up on the left-hand side.
There he is, See the giraffe? No, but I saw the bunny.
Now, just past these boulders, we'll be approaching Monkey Point. And as the name suggests, well, we might see some monkeys. We also might see an elephant. We just have to look both on the left and the right hand side for him.
I see two monkeys.
Sitting with them.
Well, some of you might be spotting monkeys over on the left hand side. You have much better eyes than I am. They are going to be called mandrills. And mandrills are going to be the largest monkeys. And they're quite distinctive for their bright colored face. They will get brighter with more excited they get. Mandrills, just like a human, will smile as a form of friendship versus aggression. I didn't see them, but I'm trusting you all. So.
I'm saying the elephants like their water, huh? Looks like it.
Now over on the right hand side, way in the back, you're going to see an African bull elephant. And he is a male. You know he's a male because he's all by himself. When an African bull elephant reaches full maturity around the age of 13, he becomes rather aggressive, and the females won't put up with his nonsense, so they'll kick him out of the herd. He'll then live about 1 mile to 2 miles away from the rest of the herd, while he'll either live by himself, or he'll form something that is called a bachelor herd, which is a smaller herd of male elephants, around 3 to 5. So let's go see if we can catch up to the herd of female elephants. We just have to go pulley over this bridge here, which means very slowly. It's an old bridge, so we don't want to fall in on us or anything. It certainly sounds like this bridge has had better days. But Hakuna Matata, my friends. No worries here. All is fine. Okay, let's get off of here. Anywho. I can tell elephants had recently been in this area because there be tusk marks in this red clay. Elephants will eat at the red clay as a form of minerals that aren't found in their everyday grass-based diet. I'm being a lookout over on my left-hand side as you can begin to see the herd of female elephants. I cannot stop in this section because it is a blind spot for trucks behind me, but I will go slow so you can all enjoy these beautiful giants. Now, elephants are quite large creatures, and they require a lot of food to be kept happy. This actually caused a major problem for farmers in the area who were just trying to make a living off the land, because the elephants would come and wipe them clean of crops in a matter of seconds. So, over in Animal Kingdom, scientists discovered that elephants do not like bees, and farmers then began to set up beehives around their crops to deter the elephants away. And a reason why elephants might not like bees is because they have extremely sensitive skin. So oftentimes you're going to see them throwing dirt upon themselves as a natural form of sunscreen and a way to protect themselves against the elements around them.
You said it, buddy.
We are now approaching Flamingo Island, where the greater flamingo resides. They're going to be the lightest pink, yet largest flamingo in the world. They're actually hatched more of a grayish color though, and it takes about a year to 2 years for them to be fully pink. They return pink from the beta carotene, which is a protein found in their shrimp-based diet. A group of flamingos is called a flamboyance.
Don't put it in your mouth. We're done.
There is an ostrich crossing the road, and there's also a crash over on my left-hand side. A crash is a group of rhinos, and those are white rhinos. And despite what the name may sound like, white rhinos are not actually white, but more of a grayish color. We believe the misconception comes from the Afrikaans word white, which means wide, and they call white rhinos for their nose, which is flat and wide, versus the V shape of a black rhino. White rhinos will weigh around 5,000 pounds, which is 2,000 pounds more than the black rhino cousin. And walking away from us on the right-hand side, you're going to see the ostrich. Ostriches are the fastest land birds, reaching speeds around 40 miles an hour. And she's a female, you can tell from her gray feathers versus the black feathers of a male. Now, rhinos in general do not have the best eyesight, but their hearing is impeccable. So oftentimes you're going to see them rotating those ears back and forth as they try to pick up on the sounds around them. Now let's try the rock formation in front of us. It's called a kopie. And kopies will be home to larger cats like the lion. But lions are nocturnal animals, so don't be surprised if you don't see one. They can spend around 20 hours or so a day asleep. The male lion, he will be the protector of the pride, while the lionesses, or the female lions, will be the hunters. And since they are hunters, they will have padded paws that will make them almost silent when approaching their prey. There's the crash of rhinos again. Yeah, it's nature. And there's also going to be some zebras over on the right-hand side. They're grand zebras, and they will be black with white stripes. You can tell because if you look at their nose is also black. No two zebras will have the same exact stripe pattern. Each one will be unique.
About that girl that is in Central Florida that singer was dating, and she had like 10 giraffes and 20 zebras on her property. I mean, like, that's money. You gotta feed those things. You got about one horse.
Stop. Stop. Oh, I see him. It's a warthog.
Warthog! And there's another view of the grand zebras as well as the rhinos. And there's also eggs on the right-hand side. They are ostrich eggs. Each one will weigh roughly about 3 pounds, which is about 2 dozen chicken eggs.
That's the same
The shell's made up of nice thick calcium that's going to be strong enough to withstand the weight of a full-grown man.
Challenge accepted.
And there are a warthog over on my left-hand side there. Warthogs are related to the domesticated pig and have razor-sharp tusks that will help protect them against predators. We are now going to be entering the glens. Let's see who we can find in here.
The low glen.
Over on my right-hand side, hidden in these trees, you're going to see a scimitar horn orc laying down. He is a desert animal, and that means he can go the majority of his lifetime without drinking a single drop of water. All the liquid he needs is extracted from the plants he eats due to his digestive system. The two birds over on the right-hand side are called yellow-billed storks, and they are carnivorous birds, which means they're going to eat everything and anything, ranging from fish to lizards to even smaller birds. They're quite social animals, and their average flock will go from anywhere from 2 to 70 birds. Well, my fellow travelers, we are now reaching toward the end of our safari. But along the way, we got to see a lot of different animals. We've got to see a bloat of hippos, tower of giraffes, even a crash of rhinos. But unfortunately, a lot of the animals here on the reserve are endangered, like the African elephants and the painted dog. So if you want to try to help save these amazing creatures, I do highly suggest donating to Disney's Wildlife Conservation Fund. 100% of the proceeds will go toward protecting the animals. But if you find yourself unable to donate, Hakuna Matata, no worries. Just simply recycle every day, like papers and plastics. Even those cell phones that we come to love and appreciate can we recycle? They contain coltan, which is a mineral mined where elephants like to inhabit. If we have any wilderness explorers on board, this truck is called the Simba 1, SIMBA 1, and you can claim your badge just past the entrance of our ride, next to the blue umbrella. And here on the reserve, well, we do not like to say goodbye. It is just way too sad and way too final. Instead, we like to say kwaherini, which means go well. So kwaherini, everyone. Now, if you want to see more animals, I do suggest coming back to another safari. No two safaris will ever be the same, especially at nighttime. At nighttime, you can see how animals react differently to one another, especially the hoofstock animals that you saw on the reserve. It's quite interesting to see how different species will integrate with one another, learning each other's calls and signals in order to protect one another against predators. Nighttime is also when the hyena comes out, so if you're looking for the hyena, I'll come back later. There's also walking trails you might enjoy throughout the park. The closest one is right here in Africa, called Gorilla Falls. At Gorilla Falls, you can see animals such as, well, the gorillas, as well as the meerkats, and an aviary to see birds.